All right, welcome to the Explainer. In the world of AI, things move fast, but a new benchmark has just dropped that's making everyone take notice. OpenAI has released its latest model, GPT-5, and you can already feel the shockwaves. So today, we're going to break it all down. What's new, how it really works, and what it actually means for all of us.
To really get what's going on with GPT-5, you have to start with this quote from OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman. He's talking about the fast fashion of SaaS, that's software as a service. This isn't just about a slightly better chatbot. He's talking about a future where anyone, and I mean anyone, can create software and apps almost instantly. It's a total reimagining of how technology gets built.
So if you're going to promise a future like that, you better have the horsepower to back it up. Let's pop the hood and see what core upgrades really make GPT-5 tick. Okay, so when you look at the benchmarks, the performance numbers, it's a fascinating story. On a really tough real-world coding test, GPT-5 just barely, and I mean barely, beats its top rival. It's way ahead on advanced science, but actually falls a tiny bit behind Grok on a test that's designed to trick AI. The big takeaway here isn't that GPT-5 is dominating everything. It's that the race is unbelievably tight.
Now this, from my money, is one of the most important upgrades. We're looking at hallucinations. You know, when the AI just confidently makes stuff up. The older models, they could be wrong more than 20% of the time. GPT-5 gets that error rate down to under 5%. That's not a small improvement. That is a massive leap in reliability, and it's absolutely critical if you want to use this for serious work.
And what about this 90%? Well, on a reasoning test called Simple Bench, which was specifically designed to be easier for humans than for AI, GPT-5 scored a 90. So what's the big deal? Well, the average human score on that same test is just under 84%. This is a huge milestone. The AI is now consistently outperforming us on a test designed to trip it up.
It's also really important to know that GPT-5 isn't just one single thing. It's more like a family of models. You have the main flagship model for all the heavy lifting and deep thinking. Then there's a smaller, faster mini for quick and easy tasks. And finally, there's a nano version that's so light it can run right on your phone. It means developers get to pick the right tool for the right job.
But all these upgrades in performance, they're really all in service of a much bigger idea. The most fundamental change here isn't just that it's smarter, it's that its whole purpose is changing, from a passive chatbot to something more like a proactive agent. So, what in the world is an agentic AI? Well, think of it like this. Instead of just answering a question you ask, it can take a goal, like, build me a website for my new coffee shop, and then figure out all the steps and actually do them for you. It's a doer, not just a talker.
So how does it pull off these complicated tasks? It has a new trick up its sleeve called dynamic reasoning. You can think of it like a dimmer switch for its brain. When you give it a prompt, the AI itself figures out how hard the problem is. Then, it decides whether to fire off a quick, simple answer or to go into a deeper, more powerful thinking mode. And the best part? It all happens in the background. You don't have to do a thing.
And as OpenAI says, the whole point is to make the experience feel less like you're typing commands into a machine and more like you're talking to an expert. It's about collaboration that's faster, smarter, and just feels more natural.
Okay, that all sounds great in the lab, but where can you actually try this thing out? Let's get practical and see how GPT-5 is rolling out into the tools you and I use every single day.
And this is a really big deal. For the very first time, a top-of-the-line reasoning model is being made available to everybody for free, right inside Microsoft Copilot. This just blows the doors wide open for access to the most powerful AI we've ever had.
And its reach goes way beyond a chat window. GPT-5 is getting baked right into Microsoft 365, so it can help you sort through your emails or summarize documents. And for developers, it's supercharging GitHub Copilot, helping them write and test code in ways that just weren't possible before.
And on a lighter note, OpenAI is also letting you play around with the AI's personality. It's a fun little experimental feature. So if you need some tough love, you can talk to the cynic. If you just want the facts, no fluff, you can try the robot. Or you can chat with a good listener or a classic nerd. You can kind of customize the vibe to fit what you need.
So, we've seen the official launch, we've seen the flashy features, but now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
Let's balance all that marketing hype with a dose of reality from the people who are actually using these tools.
Here is a perfect example of that hype versus reality. The official marketing says GPT-5 can handle complex coding with minimal prompting. But then you go to a forum like Hacker News, and you see developers saying they want the exact opposite. To avoid mistakes, they are being as specific as humanly possible, even telling the AI to ask them questions before it starts working. It just goes to show you that the best way to use these tools is still very much up for debate.
This quote, also from the developer community, just perfectly captures the mood right now. Are we just getting slightly better versions of a technology that's starting to hit a ceiling? Or is this just one more step on an exponential curve that's about to go vertical? Honestly, nobody knows for sure.
Of course, with all this incredible new power, we have to talk about safety. GPT-5 is built to be much better at understanding what you actually want, which means fewer of those frustrating moments where it refuses a perfectly harmless request. But at the same time, it's also got one of the strongest defenses yet against people trying to use it for bad things, like creating malware.
And that brings us full circle, right back to that idea of the fast fashion of software. If an AI can genuinely build complicated apps just by you asking for them, that opens up a whole new universe of possibilities. And it leaves us with the biggest question of all. When the barrier to creating something totally new is this low, what will we even dream up next? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.